The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome to today's webinar. Today's webinar and all September webinars are sponsored by Duro. My name is Anna Alog and I serve in the Education Department at NRCA. Today's presentation is Exploring Technology Options and our presenter is Heidi Ellsworth. A few housekeeping details before we begin. If you have questions during today's presentation, please type them into the chat box in your control panel. You can do this at any time and we'll have time for Q&A at the end of Heidi's presentation. Today's webinar is being recorded and you will receive an email by early next week with the link for the recording. A little background on our presenter, Heidi. Heidi is the owner of HJE Consulting Group, a sales and marketing firm that focuses on supporting roofing contractors' overall marketing strategies and implementation, along with providing consulting to building strong collaborations between sales and marketing teams. Along with consulting for NRCA, the Roofing Industry Alliance for Progress, Heidi also serves on the board of the Western States Roofing Contractors Association and Florida's Roofing and Sheet Metal Contractors Association. And she helped found the National Women in Roofing Association, where she serves as chairperson for the organization. Without further ado, I'll turn it over to Heidi.
Good morning and good afternoon to all of you on this call. Thank you so much to the NRCA for having me here today. Again, my name is Heidi Ellsworth, and I am the owner of HJE Consulting. I am also a partner with RoofersCoffeeShop.com. So there's a little bit of technology there that I'm involved in every day as I work with contractors, first consulting with NRCA contractor members, which is a free service that if you haven't, you should check out through NRCA. And also just being involved with the industry overall. So I'm very honored today to be able to present some of the things I've learned about bringing technology and software, hardware, the whole nine yards into your roofing contracting business. So today, as we look at technology, it is really everything that is happening around us. Every day we are surrounded by technology, whether it is social media or our computer in front of us or the cell phones, whatever it may be, tablets, we every day have to deal with it. And it's no longer just something like, well, maybe we should do it in our roofing business. It is a necessity. It's a necessity in order to stay competitive and to stay profitable. So as we talk about this today, we're really going to look at how the technology, and mostly focusing on cloud-based softwares for your business, how it's making a difference for you and where you need to be looking, and most importantly, the questions you need to be asking as you try to bring more technology into your business to improve customer relations, improve profitability, and grow your business. One of the very first things to think about and to talk about is the culture. I've been in the roofing industry for many years, and I worked with contractors who 10, 15 years ago started bringing project management software, customer relationship software into their businesses. And what they've talked about across the board is the change that has to come about with your employees. It's one of the largest challenges. So as you're looking at this and looking at this picture, some of you may be saying, yeah, that looks a little familiar, a lot of files, a lot of paper. This is what's changing. Contractors, especially young contractors coming in, they don't have all this paper. Everything is digital. Everything is on the cloud. They can get to it quickly. They know where it's at. They have all their data in a way that they can analyze it, and it makes sense to help them grow the business to be more profitable. So before you even start looking at all these technologies and all these different softwares out there, you really want to sit down with your key leadership team and start talking about, this is what we need to do. We need to streamline our processes. We need to start using technology, and it's going to mean a cultural shift. Working with certain softwares, hopefully they will be able to take some of your processes and make them part of that software, that's part of that technology change. But no matter how that works, there is going to be a shift, and you are going to need to move a lot of what has been done traditionally with paper to an electronic format. So bring your team together, and not just the office staff. You need to really look at the team considerations across the board. What are your roof technicians doing on the roof? Do they have a tablet? Do they have a cell phone? Are they able to document electronically? What is your sales team doing? Are they able to sell in the home using a tablet? Are they able to get signatures or process money with checks or with credit cards? What are your estimators doing? How are your crews reporting from the field back to the office and to the customers? And how can they do that using software or technology? So as you start making this cultural shift, one of the biggest things you need to do is to bring your key leadership team, whatever that may be, accounting, sales, marketing, operations, bring them together and start talking about what are they already doing, because they may already be using technology that you aren't even aware of. How are the processes being performed now on paper, or maybe with paper and a combination of some software, and how can that all be put together into one solid process and operational benefits for the company? So as you look at that, bring them in, keep them involved all the way through, so that at the end, when you do select a software and you do start implementation, you have buy-in from your team, which will make that adoption rate much faster. And part of that evaluation is really looking at your equipment. What equipment do you have? Do your crews have cell phones or smartphones? Do they have tablets for the sales team or for your roof technicians? What does your computers look like? Are they laptops? Are they desktops? Are they old? Are they still running? Can they even handle some of this new software? So a full audit of the equipment that you already have in your office and what is going to be necessary in order to have the speed and functionality that you need, that is critical. So be sure to take that time. Again, a lot of times people just jump in and say, oh, we need this software. Or a really good salesperson says, you need this software. But until you really do some evaluation, both with your employees and with your hardware that you already have and the software that you already have, that is going to be able to set the stage to make better decisions and to really bring in the type of software that you need to make your business function very well. And staying on that theme, you need to think about your customers. What are your customer expectations? When you look at millennials, they may even want you just to text. They probably want everything electronically. They can't even imagine. In fact, they may even want a portal where they can go get it whenever they want to and not wait for an email. As you look at the folks who maybe are closer to the baby boomers, they still are looking for some touch and feel of that paper. But they probably have a computer. They probably can get that email. But looking at who you're working with, whether it's commercial or residential, is important. And how they want to deal with technology and how they like their communications and how they like to be able to interface throughout the production of their new roof. I work with a number of large roofing contractors in commercial, and we are working with young millennials who may never step on a roof, and they may be just looking only at a computer screen. So they want that portal. They want to be able 24/7 access. They want to be able to access it through their mobile device. These are the type of considerations for technology that a lot of people sometimes think, well, we'll just do it and the customers will be happy. You need to make sure that you are talking to some of your key customers and kind of seeing what some of their habits, maybe a survey, maybe getting out there with your sales team, just making sure that whatever you do by bringing technology in is going to be a good customer experience. And then as you bring all of this together, you have your employees, you have your equipment, you have your customers, you basically are looking to get a full commitment of, yes, we're going to move forward. Yes, these are the things that are important to us for our business. These are the processes, this is the communication style, these are the things that we want, so that you have a list and kind of a commitment of what you're looking for. Maybe you don't know which product, which software, or which company you want to work with yet, and that's what we're going to talk about, but you have an idea of what you need to help your business be more successful. With that in place, let's talk a little bit now about all the different types of technology, software, different things that are out there, because there's a lot to think about as for your company as a whole. I have to say, the heart and soul of your business is that website. A website is a must. So if you do not have a website, start there. You need to have a website. You need to have a place. You can do all these other types of technologies, all these different things in sales and marketing and operations, but if you don't have a place to send them, to give them information, to engage with your customers, you really are just going to be spinning around. You need to have that strong central hub of your business that really talks about who you are. It's the validation. It's today's business card, and it's also today's portal of where they can get information and start gaining trust in your company and have long-term relationships by knowing there's a place where they can always go get updates and find out what you're doing. In working with some of the large contractors out there and small contractors, really that is always my first step, is to sit down and say, okay, how can the customer get to us? What's the information and what's there? And then you can start building out from that website. So if you don't have a website, some of the things you want to look at is you want to look at a company that understands construction and ideally understands roofing. So as you are looking for people to create a website for you, to host the website, to really kind of make sure that it's search engine optimized, all those different things, ask them what kind of experience they have with construction companies, because we market different. Ask them if they've done roofing. And before that, go to your associations, go to your network groups, talk to other contractors, find out the NRCA is the best place. Talk to other NRCA members and find out who they use for their website and how they've done it. Because you're not going to be paying someone to learn roofing. You're going to be paying someone to build you a website. And that's what's really important as you look at that. Obviously, it's cloud-based. It's going to be something that you're going to be able to really start driving people and giving them the information you need. If you already have a website, then what you want to do, I'm sure most of you do, then what you want to do is make sure that it's search engine optimized, that it has forms, it has a way for your customers to engage you. It's critical. And why? Why do you want those customers to engage you? Obviously for leads. And so the next area that once you have that website in, you need to make sure you have some sort of customer relationship management software. A lot of us think of it as Outlook. Okay, we have our Outlook software, but that doesn't always, it doesn't work once you start getting a lot of employees. You need to have something with a central database where you can keep all of your customers. All of those files with a paper in it, all that data needs to come into this CRM. So as you're looking at this, yes, Excel documents or an Outlook would be your first step, but then going to some sort of cloud-based software that allows all your employees to communicate, whether they're in the field, in the office, at home, whatever. They have one central point where everyone can get that information they need. And you can also do incredible data analysis. So as you look at picking a CRM, a couple things that you really want to think about is, first of all, in that evaluation we did earlier, are you residential, commercial? Do you do insurance claims, restoration? All of those things are going to be important as you're talking to CRM providers. You want to ask them, you know, how does this work for my business? How does it handle my customers? Is there job project management involved with it? Will it have plugins? How's it going to help my employees communicate better? And depending on the culture of your company, you know, how easy is it? If you have a culture where there has not been a lot of technology, getting a very easy to use software, very user friendly, could be very important for that shift. looking at how all the different departments will work together. How does marketing work with the CRM? How does sales? How does accounting? How does project management? Really talking to those providers. And you will see we have some marvelous, amazing software companies in the roofing industry, and they are at the trade shows. They are in as part of the associations. You can find these companies that really make a difference. And whether they offer the whole 9 yards or they offer a really strong CRM that can integrate and bring other types of software into it, those are the types of things that we'll be talking about and are very important to evaluate. Finally, as you're picking that CRM, you also want to make sure you build a relationship with that software company. We're going to talk a little bit more about this, but is the technology contractor driven? Does this company understand roofing? Does it understand construction? Does it understand your processes and what you need? And will they listen to you and work with you? Those things are critical. You'll have a lot of companies that, to be 100% honest, that try to sell into the roofing industry that are not invested in roofing. But you want the companies that are invested in roofing because they understand your business and they can help you adopt it and become very successful. And obviously, you're going to be looking at price. You're going to be trying to figure that out. So again, we're going to go through this, but there's a lot of questions like how many users can you have? What is the cost? How much does it go up? How much storage, data, all those different things. And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you a list of questions that you can keep to really be able to ask your vendors some of those important questions. And one of those important questions as we kind of go through this is the bundling. How does that CRM work with your website? How does it work with your marketing emails? How does it work with your project management? How does it work with billings and accounting and invoicing? All of those things, and what you will find is you're going to have companies that will provide the whole process from CRM to accounting. Then you will have companies that maybe provide really the heart and core, and then they allow you to plug in all your different types of software that are important to you, because there's probably many of you who already are using some accounting system. You don't want to start it all over again, but you want to be able to have it integrate into your CRM. You want to be able to have it integrate with your project management. So asking those questions, showing them what you already have, and then how can we bundle? How can we bring the estimating part of it into this overall project, this overall technology solution for our company? And it really becomes the same thing too with marketing. In marketing today, you have so many different cloud-based solutions out there. You have your email marketing, which is MailChimp or Constant Contact. You have your social media. You have lead follow-ups, lead generation, all different types of marketing software that you use that need to integrate into your CRM in order so those leads can come in and you can track them. You can make sure your sales team has them. So as you're looking at that, a great question on any CRM is to ask is, will it integrate with my email marketing? Am I able to follow up and to do follow-up emails? Can I send those thank you emails? Can we send appointments? All those different types of things that are going to make it easier on your employees and a better customer experience down the road. And that also really leads into your sales team. So as you have this database of customers, you have your marketing, you're pulling in all these leads. Now, what's happening with your sales team? And there has been some great software that has come out recently on following up on sales, on those leads, and understanding what the closing rate is, where they are in the pipeline, how it's looking on the estimate and proposals. And it allows the owner of the business to have a real good insight into that sales team and the sales team to have insights on where they're at. They're able to integrate into getting that information, seeing those leads early on, and really reacting quickly. So those types of software, that lead follow-up, the overall closing rate, tracking your sales team, is really becoming, I'm seeing a lot of contractors who are using this type of software, and it is doing tremendous things for their closing rates. It's really making a difference. And as you also look at the tools that you're providing to your sales team, we talked about earlier that tablet. There's some great software out there that the whole sales presentation is right there on that tablet. You sit down with the homeowner or the building owner, you go through your sales presentation, swiping, you can hand them the tablet so they can look at it. It integrates in with aerial imagery and measurements, maybe even looking at some of signatures and e-commerce, actually taking the check or swiping that credit card right there in the home and closing the sale. That's the kind of technology that the millennials are bringing into this business, and they are closing sales, they are working with homeowners, they are making it easy, and they are making a great customer experience, and it's something all businesses need to be thinking about. How do you make it easy for them? Because everyone is used to that Amazon experience. It's no longer, well, I'd rather do it this way. No, everyone kind of gets the fact that they can swipe a credit card and they're off to the races. So think about how the tools, the software, the communication that you're providing to your sales team that allows them to really make that great customer experience, and very important, to communicate effectively with your operations and project management for that great experience, so that at the end of the job, every time you've touched that customer, it has been professional, it's been easy, and you're going to get those great reviews for those continued leads. With the project management, again, everything that salesperson does out there, whether it's photography, documentation, estimates, aerial measurements, whatever it may be, all of that, everything that they worked with the homeowner or the building owner with, needs to make sure it transfers easily into project management. You don't want to have to ask the customer for the information all over again. You want it to all be in one central location. And by having all of that in there and that ability, again, there are softwares out there that do amazing jobs on organizing your photography and documenting it. And you're able then to have before, during, and after photos that you can share with that owner to really be able to show what a great job and every step of the process of that roofing project. So with the estimating, reporting, putting together budgets, all of these things are part of important project management that works between sales and your operations. And just being able to assign work, to take from the commercial side, the software out there can do work orders. They can immediately, the easy button through customer portals. Those are the type of things that the commercial building owners want. They want to be able to see their projects, they want to be able to get in contact with you, and they want to be able to make sure any emergency calls are taken care of immediately, and technology that does that for you. So as we're starting to look at some of the key features, we finished up the bundling and really looking at all different parts of that process of a roofing project, and how do all those different departments and different technologies, asking those questions, how do they work together, how do they bundle? Then you really want to also look at some really key features that maybe are, that really kind of apply overall. And this may be more for your main software. You want that contact management that we talked about, that data. The data is crucial. Really understanding what your customers have done, what they need, and having everyone on the same page. And then having that project management, the task management, and the ability to search and find that information easily. So these are some more advanced features. We're going to kind of go through that. But are you able to share calendars between operations and sales? Are you able to share calendars with accounting? Are you able to have all that activity and history in one place so that you can have your collections be quick and easy? All of this, and one of the things to ask for as you're looking at these softwares is, can you put all this in a dashboard? So a dashboard is a key feature where, as an owner, you can, or as a sales manager or operations manager, you can go in and you can look and see how your sales team is doing, what their closing rates are, how your projects are going, what's the profitability, where are we on collections, and how is that happening with that follow-up? Where are we on our lead generation? All of that can be in one key dashboard, but you need to ask for it, and not everybody's going to be able to offer that. So you determine how much of a dashboard they can provide, how important it is. Again, does it work with integrations? Can you bring other information in so that it can be part of that dashboard? That really, from an owner standpoint and from a management standpoint, is really key. And some additional advanced features is really as you start looking at, so you found your software, you're really thinking this is the one, but you need to make sure they can do some pretty important things for you. So how are they going to help get all of your information from the files with all the paper in them, from filing cabinets, from Outlook, from Excel documents, from wherever you have this information? How are they going to get it into this new system easily and correctly? So that importing contacts, importing history, projects, all of that, you want to understand exactly what that process is so that you understand how long it's going to take, what the duties and tasks of your management or your operations folks is, and really how it's going to work. And how much integration will it provide? So QuickBooks, like we talked about, having the ability to put your current accounting system to integrate. And even some things as simple as maybe you're already working on Google with Google Calendars and Google Maps so that you have that for your field service. What kind of calendaring and mapping do they provide? And the customized portals. Can they do that? It is a key thing, and right now it's mostly used in commercial, but I see that in the future you're going to have homeowners who are going to want to have that portal and see what's happening. They're going to be at work and they're going to want to look at the video to see what's happening at their home site with their new roof. Those are the type of groundbreaking customer service types of technology that can really differentiate you and your company. So ask, what do they have out there? What are they looking at? And finally, when you're really looking at those advanced features, be sure to talk to them about storage and data availability. That is your data. You own it. So you need to make sure that at any time you can download it, you can get all the information, that you are able to have duplication in storage. So in case there's any problems with cyber risk and what's going on there with ransomware, you want to be able to make sure that you have good, clean data backed up in many places. So ask those kind of questions. And a lot of that is going to be handled through the support team. So as you make this decision on who you're going to go with, you want to make sure that they have 24/7 support for you, that you are able to call, and whether you get a live person or you can get online to get information or user guides, those types of things will make it easier for your employees and that cultural shift if they have people who they can relate to. Roofing and the people who are in roofing, it's all about relationships. We like to know who we're working with. So make sure you know that support team, that you know your trainers. And for a lot of software, and especially the larger packages, you're going to be able to get on-site training. You're going to be able to go to user group functions where you can learn, your super users can really learn all the newest, greatest stuff. You're going to be able to have people who you can talk to on a regular basis to help make this transition to the new software and future upgrades or versions of that software easy for your employees. And trust me, I've seen this over and over again. The relationships that are built from the people who run the software in the roofing company and the software developers and customer support teams can be really, it's just some great relationships. You really get to know each other, and so that's what you want. And you want to ask about that up front before you ever sign on the dotted line. Ask for that premium training and ask what kind of documentation they have. Finally, along the same lines, is one of the questions to ask is the software contractor-driven development? And what that means is, are they listening to you? Are they listening to your processes, understanding how you go to market, how you do your business, how you run your operations? Can you have those conversations? Trust me, they're not going to be able to customize every single person's software. That's just not going to happen. But what will happen is, if you see things that will make that software better and you share that, then it gets incorporated into those next development cycles. into the upcoming versions. And so you want to work with software companies that will listen to you and will be a part of your process, and that you get to be a part of their process. And that's really when great things happen. Finally, as we talked about before, that uploading of information. I kind of touched on this earlier, but really you want to think about everywhere you have data in your company. So you are going to have data on customers in your Outlook files of your salespeople, in the Outlook across the board in your company, and those all can be exported. You need to ask how they can do that and then get that information into your new system. Obviously, filing cabinets, you're going to probably need to get some summer help or internships or temporary labor to help get all that information in there, but it's worth it. Those are years and years of contacts and data that is very valuable. And be sure to look in your accounting system. Sometimes I've seen where that's actually the best, most accurate current information is in the accounting system. And obviously, you're going to have a number of people in the company who probably are using Excel and keeping their contacts in Excel. So make sure you look across the board at all the different areas and make sure that you are grabbing all of that data and making that a part of this transition to using the technology for across the board. So as I said, I did write up some of these questions that we've been talking about because we've had all these pretty pictures, but here's a list. And these are a lot of what I've already said, but some of the things we haven't talked about pricing too much. And so you really want to make sure that you are asking about what's their annual licensing fee, what's their monthly subscription, how does the pricing model work. Those are really important. And what happens if you want to cancel? Are there cancellation fees? Do you get your money back? How does that work? Just make sure you have a really good understanding of that up front, because sometimes it's rather confusing. And then also, along with that pricing, a lot of times you'll get priced per user. So how does it work with how many users do you have on the site, how many times they use it, and then also the data. Sometimes you will see some systems will say you can only have so much data due to storage, and that there's additional costs that way too. So look across the board and just ask right out, where are all the pricing coming from? How is this working? And a good software company will try to make it as easy as possible for you. But it's important to understand all the different ways it works. Because once you do this, once you go through this and get all your data uploaded, it is very frustrating if you have to switch to another system. And I've seen contractors do it. And if you have to, you have to. But it's really good to ask these questions ahead of time. What is the process for your storage, the backup of data, the redundancy? How do you get it back out? Making sure you own that data. Strong question. How does it integrate with technologies like aerial measurements reports, weather, Google, all these different things? How's that going to work? Customer support, we just talked about, available 7 days a week, on-site training. And a really interesting question too that it definitely needs to be upfront research is, how does it integrate with distribution and manufacturing? So to give you an example of that, there are many distributors right now, both really small distributors to really large distributors, who are offering software where you can order online, you can have your pricing online, and it all integrates right back into your system. So as you look at that, ask the software vendors about that. How are you integrating with distribution? How are you integrating with manufacturing? And also ask your key distributors and your key manufacturers. Now, on the manufacturing side, it's going to be more really with certified contractor programs where you may get discounts on certain software. You may be able to get trial things, or they may even offer free visualization software, different types of marketing software. So taking the time to talk to your key manufacturers and your key distributors is really important. Distribution right now this is a hot area where you are able to integrate into your system and order online. And it's going to make things very easy and the customer experience a lot better because of that ease of use. And then again, as we talk about, is it scalable to your growth? Are you growing? Are you going to have multiple locations? Will they be able to take care of you that way? Is it contractor-driven development? And will it streamline your company processes? You need to make sure that cultural thing that we started with, that you are going to be better afterwards. It may take a while, it may take a year even, but will you be better as a company, both in the market and in operations, more profitable and more revenue? And will it eliminate repetitive data entry? I hear that a lot, that you have where people are entering data for times, and what happens is the numbers get mixed up. Everything goes crazy. So be sure that you are looking at that, and at the knowing if it will improve your operational efficiency and organization. So with that, I'd like to note that the NRCA, I do consulting with NRCA. It can be signed up through on the page on their website. Also, they offer our first book, Karen Edwards and I wrote, Sales and Marketing for Roofing Contractors. And we touch on technology in this, but this is a lot of that evaluation and talking about it. So that's also available through the NRCA bookstore. And if there are any questions at this time, Anna, I think we're ready for the questions.
We actually currently don't have any questions, but this is a good reminder for our audience to enter any questions that they have for Heidi while I do our closing remarks, and maybe we'll come up with a few at the end. So thank you very much, Heidi, for your presentation. We ask that all of you fill out our brief survey that will launch at the conclusion of our webinar. We value your feedback. As mentioned, you'll receive a link for today's recorded presentation by early next week. Our next webinar takes place next Tuesday when Charles Antis, CEO of Antis Roofing and Waterproofing, shares how roofing companies can profit with purpose by giving back to their communities. You can register at nrca.net/webinar, where you can also find an archive of past NRCA webinars. We still don't have any questions, Heidi. So I think that's all we have for today. Thank you again, Heidi. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great, great day.
Thank you very much. Bye.